Good morning. No, sorry, afternoon. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost 1 o'clock. Why did I say morning? Um, so we're going to be playing Pokemon Scarlet again. Um, Pretty much left off exactly where we were. I haven't even renamed our team, but we will do a quick team recap once we are in and ready. So let's have a little mooch because I actually don't remember. So we've got Diglett, Fledgling, Sprigatito, Ralts, Surskit. So, a big part of what we're going to be doing in this first sort of section of gameplay is pretty much going to be just powering through the remainder of the tutorial and help this young lady here. She seems to be in some distress. Yes, the big plan is to get past the early tutorial, get to the point where we can ride our Pokemon, and then we're gonna have a bit of an explore. There's a few things we can do pretty much from the get-go. Um, I'm at a bit of a loose end today, so I thought I'd go live. Um, why not? See, I'm always so tempted to click walk away here, and it is one of those things where it's the illusion of choice, I'm sure. Maybe one day we'll go through all the different potential choices and we'll decide what is a valid choice and what isn't. But we are going to help her out in this instance. Oh, there is one other thing I wanted to show off. Actually, I don't think this gets covered very much um, in these sort of streams, but we'll show something not unique, but pretty interesting. No, we didn't know whatever you're talking about because that's how you actually prompt them into a fight. Um, and now this kid's going to want to fight us, which is cool. They can come and have a bit of a rumble, bit of a scuffle with Team Star member 1. We should have a Team Star counter. I will be doing a proper layout at some point, but for now, the gameplay can just be what it is, and we will be a little underleveled. I must say, it's the lack of grinding I've done in this particular playthrough. Haven't really sort of had opportunity to do any. I'm gonna have to swap. That's so bad. We'll go to Routes has confusion. So that'll be nice and quick to get one in. I believe Shroodle's normal poison type, is it not? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't get poisoned to a layer. It's just gonna go for layer. That's fine. Can live one of those. And yeah, super effective. So it's definitely a poison type at least. I want to say it's poison normal, but you never really know. Diglett Land Astonished, that's not going to be useful at all. It's probably the weakest move we get access to on the game. So that's a thing, I guess. And then basically now we're going to get a little something from Nimona, who's the rival for this game. She's going to give us a little gifty here. And we are going to receive... Well, I'm not going to spoil it. I think you probably know. If you've seen anything of this game, you know exactly what she's going to pass to us in a moment. There we go. So this is the Terra Orb. It's an item you get, and it allows you to terrestrialize your Pokemon, which is the big gimmick of this game. Effectively, what it does, and a lot of people, I think, get this wrong. So it changes your Pokemon's type. And what it does is it changes your Pokemon's offensive and defensive type, but also it doesn't. So your defensive type will change irregardless. It will be, so for example, if you have a fire and ground type Pokemon like Numel, you can have either fire or ground. You can have any type, but generally speaking, it's going to be from its initial pool of potential types. And so what will happen is its type will change to either fire or ground, and that will be both its offensive and defensive types. However, it won't lose its ground type stab move. And a lot of people seem to get that wrong, and I'm not entirely sure why. So, in effect, Diglett here is going to have Terra type ground. We're not going to terrestrialize this Diglett. There's pretty much no point. We haven't got any ground moves. He's not going to benefit from it. In fact, what I'll do is I'll switch to a Pokemon to show you. So, yeah, Ralts is a really good example. So, Ralts has the Terra type Fairy, and between Psychic and Fairy, it has all the different coverage of both of those types. When we Terra type it, it doesn't lose its stab for Psychic, but what it does lose is any resistances that Psychic has. So in some ways you become stronger, but in some other ways you actually become weaker, which is quite an interesting. Hi, Barstood. Do you know? I think I'm gonna have to be like, whose username is that? But I think I know. But yes, that is a pig, is it not? This Rouse is going to get knocked out. I really shouldn't have bothered switching. But yes, so most people tend to get that wrong. The Terra typing does weaken your Pokemon a little bit, as well as strengthen its attack. If it has an attack that isn't its standard, so we'll terrestrialize here. That isn't its standard typing, it gains a third type. So, for example, I have, I think a lot of people do as well, the event Charizard that they did. Okay, that makes sense. I've just seen that on WhatsApp. Thank you very much. So basically, the Dragon type Charizard gets Dragon typing, but its Fire and Flying type moves will retain their 1.5 stab, but it gets 1.5 for Dragon. However, what will happen is if it has Fire or Flying, that type gets a 2 times bump rather than 1.5 or whatever it is for terrestrializing, which is quite interesting. I don't think enough people really sort of understand that that's what's happening, which is nice. It's nice to know. I know a lot of the dorky sort of mechanisms that are going on in the background here. I'm fairly sure the Hasta La Vista stuff is Terminator reference, but that's maybe bias on my point. So yes, this young lady, very definitely not suspicious in any way, shape or form, has the best bag in the franchise. You don't get to have a duplication of that bag at any point in the game, which is somewhat disappointing, or at least I don't think you do. You do get a lot of items that are the sort of trademark clothing from specific trainers later on in the game, but we'll get to that. And I wanted to show this off last time and I completely forgot. So when you go into the pause menu, you can see our routes is fading. We'll deal with that in a minute. I'm not that worried at the minute. But you can see over the downloadable content, there's a little picture of a mystery gift. And that is basically saying that I can claim some content. Now, I haven't bought the DLC for this particular profile, but because it's on my main profile on my Switch, all of the profiles that get created on here are able to use the DLC. Now, I think that's how it works. Let's have a quick look. Now it's gonna ask us to drop a save, and then yeah, it's just gonna drop us in some different clothing and different bits and bobs that we got for pre-ordering the DLC way back when, and that's a permanent perk. You always get that. So we're going to close that out, and when we press left on the D-pad, the game is going to take a moment to load. But as you can see, we've got all the different uniforms, new ones. So let's go with What's New Summer look like? Oh, that's horrendous. We'll go with that. Yeah, those are some horrendous shorts. So yeah, you can any DLC that you've purchased on the primary account for your Switch, as long as it's like paid for, and that's the home Switch for that particular account, you can activate and use it on any profile on that specific Switch. So at the house at the minute, I have 2 Nintendo Switches, and the secondary one downstairs, which is my girlfriend's, she can't use the DLC on that Switch because it's not my primary Switch. I would have to buy it on a primary account to that Switch, if that makes sense. It's basically how the Xbox sharing works. If you know, then you know. So Namona's just going to give us a bit of a lecture here. This guy's going to tell us off picking fights and whatnot. There is something I want to show off in this area. I don't know if we'll get to do it right this exact second, but even if not, we'll be showing it in a few minutes. There's just a little bit of, oh hey, this is all the different things that you have to do that we are going to learn now. So the first few minutes of the stream is just going to be us unlocking the different paths through the game. There are 3 main ones, which converge as the game goes on. But we will get there. And we're in Class 1A, of course we are. So yes, you get 2 different academies depending on the version you're playing. There's the orange and I want to say it's Uva and orange Naranja. I can't think what they're actually called, but it's orange and purple. Or Scarlet and Violet, if you'd prefer. Haha, I see what you did there. So this is the much mocked frame rate issue bit of the game, where these kids are moving like different frame rates at different points of the class, but whatever, it's hardly a thing. But this is kind of our introduction to sort of the attitude of Pneumonia and how she's going to interact with us as a protagonist and as a thing. So this first question, what do I like to do? If you know me, you notice that I like collecting Pokemon. I'm quite good at battling, but I much prefer collecting and learning and yeah, all that kind of stuff. I've got quite a few Pokemon in my bank at this moment. Working on here we go, working on a Pokedex as it goes. Shiny Living Dex is kind of my big project at the minute, and it's, oh boy, is that going to be an awful lot of faffing around. So yeah, we now get to sit down and we're going to be done with this particular section of the game for now. We will get a lot of notifications, there they are, that there's a lot of classes and whatnot that you can attend. We're not doing any of that. We can now move around the school. There are a number of different areas we can go to. The ones with the exclamation marks we have to go to, obviously, but as we unlock a little bit more, we'll get a bit more free reign. We're going to go and talk to the different characters just to sort of find out what our missions are. And yeah, you can still see us cycling through the notifications of different classes you can take. There are things you can do by taking the classes, such as you can get a couple of gift Pokemon and whatnot. Anyway, Arvin here is going to ask us to help him with a particular quest. His quest is the Titans badges. That's all I'm really going to say. I don't really want to spoil anything too quickly. But yeah, he wants to hunt down these herbs that are rumored to be guarded by by these large Titan Pokemon that you can actually catch. And once you've defeated a Titan, you can return to its area at some stage and go and catch it, which is quite nice. They do come with a special mark that indicates that they were the Titans. I think I've collected them all now in my main save files and whatnot. The artwork you see here is different as well, depending on which version you're playing. Obviously, I'm playing Scarlet. Violet has the sort of more metallic-looking Pokemon, whereas this one has the more sort of primal-looking Pokemon. So he's going to leave us to our device, which, there you go, these are our badges for that particular quest, Path of Legends. There we are. And that basically allows us to track what badges we've unlocked. Now, again, I'm not doing any kind of mad challenge or anything like that here. I'm just doing this to get used to talking a lot and keeping myself moving mentally, because it's been a minute since I've streamed. I streamed on Sunday, but before that it had been several years. And straight away we get another interruption. This is an introduction to another character. And so Cassiopeia is the name of a constellation of stars, I believe. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Which makes sense, because this is going to be the Starfall Street quest line. That is another group of badges. We won't get the start sort of prompt for it here, but we will get to sort of start interacting with Cassiopeia here. A very mysterious person that we definitely can't predict who that is, who wants us to bring down Team Star. Clavel here is just... he's actually got a little bit more of a role in this game than I expected. And yeah, he's a interesting fellow. Right. Interestingly as well, he does have a decent team of Pokemon, which is quite nice. You get to battle him a bit later on, but we won't say too much about that. Now, I wanted to show you this area. I'm trying to remember where it is. Is it... Yes, this is the Scarlet book. It's a copy of the different book that you get as sort of the main plot points of the game. It's just sort of sat here on a shelf. And if you go into the legendary treasure, you'll see little bits of information about the different Pokemon rumored to be in that. Oh, actually, I'll show you the redacted bit as well, because I did just see it at the bottom there. There's the different sections about the different. This one's redacted, which is quite nice. This was all obviously Easter eggs and whatnot, hinting at what the DLC might be about, and in fact was about. So that's pretty cool. So where do we want to go? We now want to go to Starframe, because we've got a little quest marker there. We don't have to. We can go wherever we want pretty much at this stage, but we're going to do things in order. Fun fact about this particular area, you can't move the camera inside the school. And I understand why, because there's obviously like a lot of different collisions and whatnot that they've had to implement, but at the same time it's a bit like, come on now, what am I going to really see that's so different? Anyway, we're just ignoring that character we just spoke to on the screen. We asked who she was, and she's basically the champion of champions in this region. She's the strongest trainer. But yes, so being a champion in this game is not quite the same as being a champion in other games, and I will explain that at some point, possibly. But yeah, we're gonna go try and be champion rank. But yes, Nemona's whole thing is that she's obsessed with battling. And she's going to ask us to do the very typical Pokemon thing of 8 badges, become the champion, etc., etc. Which, yes, we will be doing at some stage as we go. But for now, we're just gonna mooch along at our own sort of pace and hope for the best more than anything. But yes, Nemona's going to be somebody we battle a lot. And she gives us, very much like Arvin did a few minutes ago, she's going to give us the markers for the various actual gyms on our map. And these serve as markers for other to-do list things. I think I might pull up a list of the quote-unquote correct order, because it doesn't scale, which was a lot of people's biggest sort of complaint about this game. And, it is not disappointing that it doesn't, but at the same time, how much more work could it really have taken them to scale that? But anyway, there we are. So we've been called to go see the director, so we'll have a new area that we need to go to. A lot of these teachers we will see very little of. I might do some of the classes and stuff off stream just to sort of be able to show what you get for doing them, but they're not really interesting to watch at all. Just a lot of dialogue dumping, teaching you very basic things about the Pokemon world and what have you. They are Naranja. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. So this particular mission is kind of the middle ground where all the different things we're going to be doing lead to. And it's to do with... Yeah, our character's an idiot. Doesn't know how video calls works. It's to do with Area 0. We're going to see the professor of the region. And there's actually 2 professors in this generation. There's Turo and this young lady. We won't see Turo in this playthrough, but this is Sada. And they are Arvin's parents, mum and dad. Depending on which version you play is which one you see. Yeah, they're both thematically sort of in line with the game. As you can see, her outfit has a kind of primal sort of hint to it. But yes, she's basically telling you that she wants your assistance with a number of things, studying the region, the Pokemon, studying this Pokemon in particular. And but yes, she wants you to look after Koraidon, help with all the different things that are going on, all that kind of good stuff, which ties into some of the stuff we will be doing in other missions. And then she takes your phone number, so you get to chat up the professor. And that's kind of that for now. Could this Pokemon have its origins within Area 0? Now, there's a little bit of a question mark here for me, which I will talk about at some stage, but I'm not going to sort of get into it now. But his dialogue choices there were quite interesting, let's say. So anyway, we've done that. I think we got one more interruption. Yeah, here we go. So we're almost done. The I understand the criticism of Pokemon games where at the moment there's quite a lot of early hand holding and plot that goes on, a lot of talky. Um, but I think if you're setting up a whole new region, a whole new world, whole new place of doing anything, that's the easiest way to do it. And as they are not going to invest in voice actors for 12 languages or 15 languages or whatever the minimum they'd have to do is, doing a lot of text dumping is kind of the only way. This is our bedroom. This is the one of, 3 times we'll be in here the entire game. So we need to have a quick rest. And we are basically at the end of the tutorial. We've got just a little bit more to do with a fast forward and a bit of plot dumping. And then we're finally free to go. You forget how long some of these early scenes can be, but believe me when I say nothing is as long as the original Sun and Moon, which I love. I love those games. I will die on that particular hill. But yeah, they are very, very plot heavy. Also, canonically, you've been in the school for quite a lot of time because you get a time lapse there. Let's say even if it's just a week and you've not trained your Pokemon at all, which, considering how easy it can be to get like a decent level of Pokemon, is crazy to me. So anyway, schoolyard. And we get a bit of a cutscene as well. So this is basically explaining the core concept of the game now, which is the treasure hunt. And in effect, the treasure, quote unquote, is the friends you make along the way. That's the big thing. It's all about the adventure and going out and exploring the world and learning who and what you are all by yourself and being very sort of happy and all that kind of jazz. Of course, my treasure when playing these games is finding decent fire-type Pokemon and stomping on people and catching them all. So that's a lot of what we're doing. And we are going to be doing that throughout the region. Just finding as many Pokemon as we can, training them as best we can, and hopefully, we will be getting through this in good time. I cannot remember this cutscene taking quite as long. Anyway, now that we're into that, we're going to basically be told to get out there and have fun. We do get the final sort of nudge from each of the primary routes that we get, and then we finally unlock our traveling Pokemon. And we'll be doing things completely in the wrong order from then, which will be really lovely, actually. And I really like that about this game, is that irregardless of how you want to approach this game, there's no right or wrong way, which is brilliant. So one of the good things about both this game and Sword and Shield is that the DLC is not locked to post-game. There are caveats to that, which I'll discuss. But yeah, you can go freely into both DLC areas from the moment you get your Coridon or Miraidon, depending on the version that you're playing. The reason that's interesting is because it means that your team doesn't necessarily always have to be the same Pokemon. You can really have a bit of a faff around if you want. I'm going to keep our starter, and pretty much that's it. I'm going to have a little look around in Kitakami, grab a Pokemon or two from there, and we'll try and build a team around whatever. This is why I didn't want to nickname any Pokemon in the first episode. Just sort of have that opportunity to really sort of explore and try and find something a little different. Just a little bit different. But yes, we will be getting... So basically this is the last sort of, oh, you're going to go and do my thing. Oh no, you're going to go and do my thing. Oh no, you're going to go and do my thing bit of the game. But yes, each of the sort of rival companion characters is representative of a different path. Here comes the third and final one, which is Cassiopeia, who's going to ask us, for real this time, if we're happy to take on Team Star, get their badges, and go and mop up their bases, which we're going to do. And those are those 5. Again, 5 more markers, 5 more badges. And yeah, so you effectively have 1 badge for every type of Pokemon in the game, which is quite nice. It's quite nice. And yeah, so now the other 2 friendly rivals are like, wait, we already told him what to do. And Cassiopeia's like, well, I'm going to tell him what to do, and he can choose what to do, can't he? Because free world's not a thing in video games, so we're going to do all of it anyway. You have to get into the post game, which is really, really nice. If you're doing, I suppose if you're doing a purist Pokemon playthrough and you wanted to just do it till you're champion, you'd only really have to do Nemona's quest. But that's not the whole game in this game, which is so refreshing. But yes. Yes, Nemona, I know what a gym looks like, thank you very much. And Arvin's first little Freudian slip here. But he wants to make sandwiches. Here we go, we finally are going to get the opportunity to ride our Coridon. And at the moment, all it can do is really carry us around slightly quicker than we can run. There we go. We can jump a little bit. We will have to unlock extra abilities, but we'll get into how as we come across them. For now, we don't really need it. So we'll just wait for the these 2 cheesy Watsits to jog on. Frame rate goes to hell. Thank you, game. Right, and we're off. So now we can basically go wherever we want within Paldea. And we're going to get a phone call here and be told that we can go to Kitakami. We are going to do that first. We're not going to do any of the storyline in Kitakami. We're just going to go there, have a little look, see if there's any outbreaks in the early area, because this is what I did on Violet. I ended up getting a shiny Riolu out of it as it goes. So we will see what we get. Now we can't. Let me zoom out a bit. There we go. We can't run on Coridon just yet, but like I say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, I'm going to just head in here. A little bit more talking, I'm afraid, but not too much. Right. Now, I have to say, this lady's design choices, her eyes, it's like she's evil, right? You're supposed to think she's evil. You see what I mean in a second when she actually opens her eyes. Yeah, look at that. She probably talks like this. It's like one of those really evil, demonic voices. Um, but yes, Miss Briar. So she's arranged a school trip for you and I think 3 students. It's like NPC students. They're not important at all. And we will have to do a little bit of that before we can freely travel back, but we're not in any rush. Actually, I think you can fast travel the moment you arrive in Kitakami, so we'll maybe do that. But we're only going for just a little poke around in the early area. There's one Pokemon I'd quite like to catch if I can. And we'll go from there. Right, let's just get through this dialogue a bit. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Right, come on. We want to get this. Oh, we get a new Pokedex as well. That's pretty similar for the 2 DLC sort of expansions we get from Sword and Shield and from this game. And yeah, so we get to go around Kitakami, which is, I believe it's supposed to be a different region. I couldn't tell you which one. I know that the second DLC is Unova. It's canonically in Unova, but I couldn't tell you where Kitakami is supposed to be. And yeah, so we're just going to head there and see what Pokemon we can get. So let's do that. Yes. Right. Do I know of the Scarlet book? I just read it. Just read the whole book. It's over there in the library. It's not that impressive. There's bits that have been redacted. All the sodomy and the witchcraft is gone. Um, the book I will tell you a little bit about the backstory of this game at some stage when we get later on into the game. But the book she has is interesting. The book in the school, and there are other copies of the book knocking around. There's kind of an interesting thing that happens later on in the game, which is like, huh, I wonder what that means, kind of thing. But yeah, so you'll see. Also, it will change our splash page depending on where we are in the game. Here we are. New title screen for you all to enjoy. Area of Treasure of Area 0. There are hints and clues to things that happen in that flash screen, believe it or not. So yeah, we are finally here. We are indeed, yes. That My butt is killing me. We will just leave that at that, young lady. Nobody needs to hear that. Especially not in public. Right. So, we now have free reign of Kitakami, more or less. Anyway, we can really reach, which is kind of how they divvy up the exploration and whatnot of this game. Is that you will have. Oh, this kid's dying. I forgot about that. Yeah, he dies. He's about to keel over. He does. He doesn't. He doesn't. That would be funny though. And yeah, so because Koraidon and Miraidon have limited locomotive skill at the moment, there are going to be a lot of areas you can't get to for one reason or another. And yeah, so for now, we're kind of stuck looking for Pokemon we can reach. So we're going to go into boxes. We're going to ditch about half our team. Have a look. I might still run a couple of them, but we'll see. We'll see. For now, I just want to have a little explore. So yeah, like I said, in the map, yeah, it shows you straight away. You can sort of jump between Paldea and Kitakami. So we're just gonna have a little look. Are there any outbreaks I can reach? There's one there. There's one there. I should be able to get to that one, you know. We're gonna go see what that is. I'm going to go see. Oh, actually, I'd have to go through the town to get to that one. I think I was really lucky with the Riolu one because it was literally around here somewhere. Do you know what? We're just going to grab something in this first area, I think. Yanma's not a bad shout. Oh, got a little bug guy over here. Not you, Spinnerack. Not interested, Spinnerack. So this game doesn't have the Scarlet Violet catch rate modifiers, which is nice. Which I'll talk about at some point, no doubt. But in effect, if a Pokemon is above you in level in Sword and Shield, in Sword and Shield, if a Pokemon is above you in level, you get a modifier on the catch rate, which makes it harder to catch. Which, fine. That's how they got around having stupidly high level Pokemon in the overworld. In this game, they've gone about it slightly differently. So there is difficulty increase by the level of the Pokemon and the level of Pokemon that you can easily catch. There is also a thing where if you catch a Pokemon over your cap, so I think at the beginning it's level 20, if you catch a Pokemon that's level 21 or more, it has a chance of not listening to you, which is amazing. But yeah, we're going to throw a Pokeball with Swaddle here, and Swaddle's going to be added to our team. There we go. It's Pokemon I don't use very often, so I'll go into our team. It's also nice because it's not the kind of Pokemon you would see a lot. Now, I would use Poochyena, but it will make me very sad, and I don't want to talk about that. So we're going to move swiftly on. We do need to change my. There we go. Change my mouse thing to move around. So our big decision basically is to go this way towards the first Titan, which I think is what we want to do, to be honest, or this way towards the first gym. So I think in reality, we really want to go for the first Titan and maybe the gym around here somewhere. Any of the markings, I did point one out straight away. These are mass outbreaks of Pokemon. If you've not seen or battled the Pokemon, it won't tell you what it is. So that's why we have question marks, because we haven't seen that many Pokemon, we haven't caught very many, so we don't know what it is. The decks can't tell us. And you can see that they're kind of scattered around. They are daily shuffles, and all of the maps on the game get them to varying degrees. These logos represent raids. We are not doing raids right now. We might do them a bit later on, but I'm not overly worried about it. So we're going to fly back to Mezagoza. We're actually going to fly to the east of the town, which I don't think we actually went into at any point, but you get all of the fly points in Mezagoza just by entering it, which is nice. It's the same for all the towns and cities. Once you've activated one, you get all the ones that are quote-unquote attached to that town or city, which is brilliant. Are you going to let me fly? Oh, it won't let me do it. Boo! Right. We have to go and deal with this dying kid, I guess. Which is fine. You can see a bit more Kitakami. I love these fields. I'm not entirely sure what they are for, like irrigation of plants, rice or something, I guess. Wheat or what have you. Very very Chinese, Japanese kind of get up here. So yeah, we're gonna come up here, do a bit of dialogue and plot, and move on with our lives. So these are the rivals / buddies for this particular region. They are both like into battling, but they're not as pushy as some of your companions, or at least Kieran isn't. Carmine is. She also isn't related to any of the characters from Gears of War with this surname Carmine. Unless her surname is Carmine. It should be Carmine. Just imagine like a giant Brumac stepping on a mid-Kitakami. That would be a very weird crossover. Anywho, she's challenging us to a Pokemon battle. There are a few bits we have to do early on here, clearly, to be able to return, but that's fine. That's fine. Maybe we'll go and look at what was in that outbreak then, seeing as I had to do this. Oh, it's Bucciana. But yeah, so we're just gonna have a quick battle here. Move on. We are under-leveled. No, that's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to terrestrialize, I think. Just to keep myself safe, really, more than anything. So that's what we're gonna do. Do that. So we'll do 2 times damage rather than, or we get a 2 times multiplier or something like that. I can't remember how it works, but basically it boosts our stab attack further than a normal boost, which is nice. It's like a double boost or something. So yeah, look, that did significantly more damage. And she knocked out my Sprigatito, which is nice. I should definitely do some grinding at some point on this game, jeez. Not that I'm enjoying this or anything. I do like her character, to be fair. She's very, very good. So we'll get Fletchling out. I think Fletchling is going to be a big part of our team going forward. Quick attack. Should be fine, yep. Could not tell you what her other Pokemon are, but we are up against it. Oh my. Learn Ember. She's got Vulpix. Okay, that's good. I can deal with the Vulpix. Oh, look at it, it's so cute. Right. Oh, that's fine. I wasn't going to use Quick Attack anyway. So that's fine. So we're just going to chip away at this Vulpix for a bit. Literally. Has it only got Spite and Disable? That's so random. It's trying to make me struggle. I mean, I've got plenty of PP to put up with that all day, so it's not really an issue at all. But yeah, let's. There we go. Move's no longer disabled. Should have seen that coming, shouldn't I? Really. So now our Peck is disabled, but that's fine. We can just quick attack now. Means we're always going to hit first anyway, so. And we get a lot of quick attack PP, so that's whatever. We can switch to Ember if her last Pokemon doesn't resist fire. Which Vulpix may even have Flash Fire as an ability, which I'll get into abilities as we go, it's fine. Poltergeist. Oh, that is weak to fire, so that's quite good. So Poltergeist is Ghost Grass, I want to say. I know it's Grass type, for sure, because it's weak to Ember, because I fought a few of them. So yeah, Ghost Grass, wow. So we should do, yeah, that's a fairly good chunk of damage. I'm going to go with Peck. Once it's not disabled though, because I think, because it's, there we go. Because it's Stab, it's going to do a bit more damage. There we go. Perfect. Should be able to knock it out before it sort of really does significant damage to me, but then I've also got another Pokemon in the back, which is great, and it's going to 4 times resist Mega Drain, which is nice. Fletchling, you did your best, buddy, but it's okay. We're doing fine. But yeah, the 2 DLCs can very much be split into the one that's more about, oh, it's got Bug Bite. That's a really good move, actually. That'll come in really handy now. So Sawaddle, our newest team member, will come in. That's going to do Bupkis. Yeah, it's like nothing. Ooh. Okay, so she's going to start spamming defensive moves. That's fine. We can deal with that. Yeah, perfect. She should have done that before. She'd have won. She'd have won. There you go. Clutched it out in the end. Or our opponent threw, whichever feels more right to you, the viewer. I would say she threw. Who are you? That one song from, was it CSI? If you know the song you're singing in your head now, absolutely. And no, I'm not singing it. Nobody wants that. Anyway, Mr. Miyagi here is going to tell us off. He's just basically going to explain who he is, what he's about, what he's doing, what we can do for him, all this, nonsense stuff. Yeah, he died, mate. But yeah, we'll see a hearse go past in a minute. And that'll be for that. That's dark. That's a dark one. So yeah, we're just gonna rest our Pokemon. This particular Nurse Joy has a cap on sideways, which is quite cute. Yes, so I don't know if I explained what this is in the last episode, so I'll explain it now. This is a TM machine. It allows you to make TMs from items dropped by defeated Pokemon. You also get them in other ways. You can filter by craftable. So craftable TMs first. So these are the ones we can make. Mud Slap, Low Kick, Disarming Voice, and Swift. Nothing too useful, I'm afraid. Swift might come in handy, but not overly sort of concerned with that right now. So we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go into the community center. We're going to see. Oh, the kid didn't die. That's good then. The kid did not perish. But yes, I'm going to get a bit of a tour of the building and where we can rest and change our outfit. No, wait, it's just rest in this game because you can change your outfit wherever you are. But you get like a little rest station and all this kind of stuff. There are a lot of nice touches in this building that I want to show off as well. I don't think people sort of talk about enough. But yes, this is the community center for Kitakami, which is kind of like a small segment of a region somewhere. It doesn't have gyms or anything like that, but there are things to do here that we will do much later. We're not doing any of the plot stuff now. Thank you for having us. We're just speed running this text now. And yeah, so I'm gonna get a little bit of the next morning thing. And we're good to go. So we're just going to go through here, rest in the back, which will give us access to the next day, which then is when we get told what we're going to do in Kitakami. We're not doing it. But after this, we're going to go and get our first interactions. I think we'll go for the first Titan badge, which is going to be good for us because we have a grass type. That's all I'm saying. But yes, this whole interaction, if you know the game, you'll know why. But this interaction feels so weird now, knowing what you come to know later on as a player of this game and somebody who has spent a lot of time in Kitakami and so on. You know that these interactions feel a bit weird now. But yeah, we'll get into why eventually. But for now, we're just getting through all this dialogue. He's going to partner us up. He gives us a selfie stick, which when they announced that in the DLC, oh my god, I laughed so much. It was the funniest thing. Because I'm sorry, but no, nobody wants a selfie stick. I don't think. If you do, great, cool, good for you. But I just couldn't imagine the demographic of Pokemon being like, oh yeah, that's what this game was missing, a selfie stick. Like, what? Oh, wrong button. But yes, the additions from this game is a lot of quality of life bits from this DLC. Sorry, quality of life bits, things that sort of affect the background of the game and the structure of the game. The second DLC, you'll come to see eventually when we get there, is more about battling and stuff like that. So, and there are a few minor sort of quality of life additions in there as well, but this was kind of See that Vulpix in the background looking so cute. Um, but yeah, so our first mission is basically we've got to go and we got to battle Kieran. Um, our first mission is to in this DLC is to go and do these interactive bits in the game, but we're not doing that. Don't worry. Get a few battles done here. So we're gonna hit Leafage straight away. And what's that quick attack gonna do? That's fine. Okay, I am going to. Honestly, I don't know how I'm so underleveled. That's so strange. You would normally be at the same level, and I haven't lost any battles. Well, not that I remember. I cheesed the battle with Nimona. Very strange. But yeah, we'll deal with all that as we go. Okay, so we'll knock the Sentret out as Sprigatito. We'll keep our momentum going. The yeah, the terrestrialization adds nothing defensively. I think that's one thing that people maybe don't realize. It is purely offensive, whereas Mega Evolution adds quite a lot of. I have to switch here to fledgling. So Mega Evolution changes Pokemon stats as well as their form, and in a lot of cases their type. So there's a lot of different variables there. With Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, it's quite a lot more defensive, I find, because there's a lot of like HP and defensive options and like weather and terrain options that you can really make use of with terrestrializing. Sorry, Dynamax or Gmaxing. Whereas terrestrializing is purely just so that you hit harder, and that's kind of an interesting choice, I feel. Man, Fletchling is so frail. I love Talonflame, what it eventually evolves into, but man, I need this thing to start hitting harder. I'm going to go back into Sprigatito. It remains terrestrialized. That's the one advantage terrestrializing has over, say, it's got bug type moves. Oh, Sprigatito. Over, say, Dynamaxing. Because if you swap out a Dynamax Pokemon, it reverts back. If you swap out a terrestrialized Pokemon, it doesn't. It stays in the form that it's in, and that's great. However, as you can see from the problems I'm having with this Yanma, if you don't have... Oh, that I've lost this battle, yeah. Wow. I think that's the first time I've lost to Kieran. Do you have to win this fight? You do? Wow. Okay. Well then. That's interesting. Oh no, you don't. Okay, I was going to say. When you're not holding back, Kieran, you beat me fair and square. I beat your sister. Kiki. It's quite nice that the kid's nickname is Kiki, because there's a young Croatian lad named Kiki that I know. So that's pretty cool. So once she goes, he acknowledges that you can finally go and do the next step of the exploration. We're not doing any of that, but we do need to strengthen our team just a little bit. So I think a fourth member would be great. But I need something. I don't know. We'll go and see what that I'll tell you what this is. So this call is for the other DLC. We're not doing that right now. We're not going anywhere near that. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go and have a little look at what that outbreak was. If it's something interesting that I'd like to run, I'll try and catch one. If not, we'll head back to the main region, Paldea. Jesus, my brain went completely blank then. And we will push on with actually getting our first badge, which would be nice. And we'll go from there. Right. So that's finally done. So we're going to go into our map. We're going to mark. So we still don't know what that is. So it's not Vulpix, because we can see that this one, because we've battled the Vulpix, is now Vulpix. We can see that. So this outbreak down here is not Vulpix. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it, though, is the thing. We'll try, but I'm not sure. Oh, accidentally took a screenshot. Meant to press that. That's what you get for having gorilla hands. Because we can't glide or anything like that, so it'll depend very much on how wide the This is interesting. This is very interesting. I completely forgot this guy was here. So I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. If you know, you know, and it's cool. And I mean, I don't even know if he tells you. So he gets us to do a picnic with him, which we don't actually have to sit through. That would be weird. And he will give us. Oh, we do have to sit through. Oh my god! Oh, go away with all of the talking. But yes, so he's going to give us an egg, and that egg is going straight in our pie. It's never explained how he has this egg, and there is no way to influence what the egg is, but it's one of three. And that's all I'm saying. So yeah, you can get eggs by picnicking. If you have compatible Pokemon that can breed together, that gives you eggs that you can then hatch, and it's probably quicker to breed than Sword and Shield. I'll say that, but this is by no means slow. Wait. So I'm going to keep that on me, and that's going to be our fourth Pokemon. I do still want to see if we can get across, see what's in the thing, because if we can replace Fletchling, we will. Purely because, you know, I use Fledgling all the time. Mostly they sit in the back of my pie until they're actually viable, but that's neither here nor there. So we're just going to scooch across here, get some experience candy, get a TM, watch the frame rate go to absolute shocking levels of terrible. So we can get some of the way across. I think we can get across, you know. It's Poliwag. Wait, pick it up. There we go. Oh, Body Slam. That's a good TM to get. Right. Let's go here. Corphish could be a good Pokemon to add to our party, you know. Right, I need to try and cheese this a little bit. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Right, so we are on the right side of the river to go and get that particular outbreak. So what would it be? And will we even be able to use it if we find it? or Swaddler. Ah, that's too funny. It's the Pokemon that we will get by evolving our Pokemon, so we don't actually need it. That's fine. So we're just going to leave that be. It's Growlithe there. Taking every bit of my discipline to just not grab every fire-type Pokemon I see. Didn't even see that there. I thought there was a Pokeball there. We will be using a... Oh, God. Run! Okay. So we have 4 Pokemon. It's fine. It doesn't show us that that's Swordloon because we didn't encounter one. Seeing a Pokemon in the overworld is not the same as encountering it, for the record, if you were wondering. So anyway, we're going to go back here. Yes, we can finally go back there. And we're going to push out to the east. Yeah, east of Paldea. Get our first badge. That's our target now for today. Let's just get that first badge done and out of the way. And then, yeah, we'll see where we are. So Arvin's just going to give us a call. He's very happy that we've chosen to go his route for now. The Stony Cliff Titan is very much the first badge we're going for. But yeah, we'll be keeping our eyes out. There are a lot of shinks around here, and knowing my luck, we might in fact run into a shiny shinx. If we do, I'm just going to chuckle and it's just going to go in the box. I've got so many. I ran into so many in Legends Arceus in my private playthrough of that. I will be returning to that game for this channel at some stage. But for now, it's kind of just going to sit there. It's fine. So we're just going to... There we go. We've got a Poké doll now. I'm just getting a lot of these prompts out of the way for the tutorial stuff. Just sort of mop them up a bit. I'm going to keep an eye out for anything interesting. Zoom out. That was zoomed out. Go cried on. So yeah, there's so many Pokemon in this game at any given time that if you wanted to run a different team every time, you probably could. My team's already quite different to how I would normally run it. The only Pokemon that's kind of an outlier to that is Fletchling. But that's just because I tend to use a lot of fire types anyway. One thing we need to do actually is a little bit of training, but we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to a bit of explore. That's the good thing about this game is there is no right or wrong way to play it. What I find is the best way to do things is to find like a little base of operations for an area and really stick to it. Oh, all right, that was so fast. That was so fast. So what would it be? I actually have no idea. Oh, it's Piplup! Oh, that's cool. Ah, that's actually really good for our team. We have water type. Yeah, so that egg is selected at random. It's one of the Sinnoh starters, which is great. It's great to get an extra starter in the game. And it's an egg, so you can use it from now. It's not like you're given a level 50 Pokemon or something. So yeah, we now have Piplup, which is really cool, actually. So Piplup's in our team. I think that's good. So we now have a significant flying type weakness though. So we probably need an ice or maybe a rock type or an electric type to deal with that. But we'll come to that eventually. There are lots of rock types and electric types around here. I'm not running a Shinx. Say that now. So yeah, Arvin's just calling us to say that we are quite close to the Titan, the first badge that we're going for. Um, but yeah, we'll be dealing with that shortly. We probably thought for a split second that that was shiny, you know. We will at some stage collect those. So Gimme Ghoul is a Pokemon that you'll see sort of on signs like that, hidden in and around thing. We got to collect a whole bunch of his coins to evolve a Gimme Ghoul, which we will do at some stage, I imagine. Maybe even run one. I've not run a Gimme Ghoul before. But anywho, I'm gonna just collect a few items. So items are really good on this game because either we'll find a use for them or we can sell them. And if we sell them, we can buy Pokeballs, and that's great. We don't need a Hyper Potion at this point. Jesus Christ, game. Oh, Litleo. I love Litleo. Yeah, our team's not set in stone. I think our starter and Piplup are. But everything else we can sort of chop and change if and when we need to. What will definitely be coming across as we go is a lot of Pokemon that we simply can't deal with whatever Pokemon we have to hand. And as we come across that, we will have to reevaluate the strengths and weaknesses of our team. At the moment, here's a really good test actually. So we're going to battle some wild crabs. So we're going to battle this guy. This is a Pokemon we've not seen before. That's why its name was in question marks. This is Clorf. Now I know that Clorf is a rock-type Pokemon. And I am 4 levels underneath this thing. Christ alive. So I'm going to have to terrestrialize. I really need to knuckle down and do some training. So I think that's what we're going to do now. Just do a bit of grinding. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I'm terrestrializing for this battle. I'm not going to be able to do it for every battle because... Oh my god. Unfortunately, there is kind of a catch-22 here where you have to recharge your terrestrialization device, orb, whatever it's called. I'm going to throw a Pokeball at this Cloth because I'm not going to be able to knock it out. And if I catch it, it can go on the team. For now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, it hardened. Okay. I'm going to try with a Pokeball. So I could have probably attacked. But that's neither here nor there. I've got 18 Pokeballs. We haven't got enough Pokemon to really stall out. Oh, goodness. I don't really want to go and fight it because it's going to knock me out. Right, come on. Pokeball. Pokeball, go! And it's proper cheesy anime music. No, okay. Okay, well, that's a dead cat. Right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run. If it lets me. Yeah. I'm going to go back a little. And I have to train. I mean, it has been making no progress in terms of getting to that first badge. But also, it's one of those things where, like, you need to put the time in to build your team. And this is where I get confused when people say things like, oh, the experience share is broken. Yeah, later in the game it is. But if, like me, I've been avoiding battles and I've been avoiding encounters because I want to sort of just have a bit of a peruse and a bit of a mischief, you run the risk of not leveling up enough. There's our Terror Orb charge, by the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to just do a little training, and I'm going to do that. When you press the shoulder button, your Pokemon will just run out and attack the first Pokemon in its path. And if it has a type advantage, which is why I'm only doing it to Nacli, you get experience, and you get less across your team than if you were doing it in proper battles, but you get a fair chunk. Having Piplup in the team, by the way, means that we'll have 2 Pokemon that can deal with rock types, which is nice. I wouldn't say that Swaddle can, because it's bug, but we'll see. And again, it's not necessarily the Pokemon I would have chosen, but like it jumped out at me as kind of an interesting one to catch. So we've done a little bit of training there. A few Shinx. We definitely don't want to catch a Shinx. If we see a shiny one, I'll catch it, but it's not going to. I do not need another shiny Shinx in my life. Thank you very much. I'm going to go this way. Any more Knackley? Thought that bird was shiny for a second, then it wasn't. The Great Ball. There's also the thing about how the game is supposed to be played. You're not supposed to play Pokemon games one specific way. There is an element of, just mess around with it. It's just supposed to be fun. Crying out loud, it's not that serious. It's Pokemon. So we'll just knock that one out. Ooh, suddenly a few. Yeah. Oh, it's because it looked to me for a second there like that was on the same thing. I was like, why did he run away? Right. So we have a level 7 Piplup. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to send Fletchling out, see how he does against Makuhita. Okay, that's fine then. So we can do a bit of training that way as well. So we've got different Pokemon we can use for different situations. I'm not going anywhere near Cloth right now. Oh, it's a Skiddo. So we'll knock one of those out. Head down into that little thing. So Piplup's gaining some levels. That's good. Grab that item. So the item Floatstone makes your Pokemon lighter, which for certain moves is actually really beneficial because, for example, if you use low kick, I think the Pokemon's weight affects how much damage it takes. So if you weigh less, you take less damage. Simple as that. Whereas there are items that make a Pokemon heavier, and so on and so forth. So, there's definitely a few little things to keep in mind when you're picking up items and whatnot. Let's beat up this Makuhita. Why are you not beating up the Makuhita? I can see it's not shiny. There we go. Right. I think special defense. I'm going to switch to Crydon and hop down here. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to go actually into a fight because I think a couple of our Pokemon could probably do with just a bit of extra XP. So what Terra type has he got? Normal. We don't want that right now. You can change Terra types. We'll go into how later on. But you can. I'm going to beat down this Skiddo. Who would be... I wonder why it started raining and it catches you off when it happens in this game. But yeah, you can change it. It can be changed later on. We'll cover that eventually. For now, that ought to do it. Right. So, I'm going to put Piplup at the top and we're going to make use of this water, this rain. Let's have a little look at his moveset. Huh. Oh, because yeah, alright. One moment. So, this is the catch-22 of doing what we were doing with sending the Pokemon out, is that you don't necessarily always learn all the moves immediately. You have to go into change moves, remember moves. So we have learnt Water Gun, but it's not assigned for some reason. I don't know why that is. But yeah, there you go. Nice little thing to learn. Or see in action on the fly. So we're in the rain. We're going to terrestrialize it and use a Water Gun. This should knock it very low, if not out. I might have sturdy. I don't actually remember. But yeah, in the rain. So rain boosted, Terra boosted, Water Gun from a water type against a Pokemon that is weak to water. Just to see. Yeah. So it's one shot KO. So it's possibly going to be a case that Piplup's just going to absolutely decimate the rock types in and around this area now anyway. So that's good. If we can get Piplup up a couple more levels, we'll be in a much better position to take on the Titan, because we'll have two Pokemon with their type advantage over it, which is nice. Just have you follow us. Come on, little guy. Let's go this way. See what call you back. He's not the fastest. Tree was in the way. Ether. Right. So yeah, one of the big things about this. Oh, wow! Wow! I'm not even joking. That was awful, quite honestly. So we'll see how Piplup does. So he's got hard, and that's not going to affect us here because we're not using a physical attack. It's not bad damage already, so that's cool. What's Rock Tomb going to do? A lot. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to throw a ball because it's in red. There we go. And we'll get a bunch of experience for doing that as well. That was a quality of life thing they added in Pokemon Generation 6. Who is getting quick attack, sorry? Sprigatito. We will replace Scratch. We're not going to use Scratch now. But yeah, through Generations 1 through 5, and the generation of Pokemon is pretty much the pairs of games that were originally released at that time. So Generation 1 is Red and Blue, 2 is Gold and Silver, so on and so forth. Generation 6, which was X and Y, the first games on the 3DS, they introduced it that you would get experience through catching Pokemon. Up until that point, you never did. You got experience from knocking Pokemon out and from winning battles, but not through catching of Pokemon. Now, you get it through catching as well. So that's pretty cool. Right. Jump for joy there because I was mashing B. I'm going to heal up. I'm not going to use Cloth, but I'm going to heal it up because, you know, why not? Right. See, to me, I know it's the lighting, but that Rookie D there did look shiny for a moment there. Okay, so I think we're in a much better position now to go and challenge the Titan, as it were. So that's what we're going to go do. We're going to try and sort that out. Grab another item. What's on the way? Which way do we have to go? So we are going over. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So yeah, the map is really. Oh, look at the Charcadet. The map is really good for sort of figuring out the general direction in which you want to go. and for getting yourself on the correct path to get somewhere. However, it's not always as clear as you might like, purely because there he is. Purely because the pathways and whatnot can be quite gnarled in places, and it makes it a little bit difficult to sort of be like, oh, that's definitively where I'm going. So what we'll do is we will lead with Sprigatito. Try that again. Lead with Sprigatito. We'll have Piplup in reserve. Hopefully not have to use Fletchling or Swaddle, and Cloth is just in the party, just in case, just as a gambit. So this is our first Titan battle in our first badge. But I feel like we've covered a lot, and that's good. I feel like we've covered a lot. It's so funny to me that I've taken a screenshot of that because I'm going to post that online after this. That this Cloth is at a type disadvantage to this tiny little kitten. And look at that damage. Look at that damage. We made absolutely the right call. So block will prevent us from escaping. That means we won't be able to switch Sprigatito out, but that's fine. We are absolutely all over this particular Cloth. I have a feeling, yeah, its ability drops its defense and special defense, but raises its attack stats, which is dangerous, but at the same time, like, that was a hard hit, but we'll be fine. And you'll see why, because we've only got to knock it into the red for this particular stage of the battle. All of the Titan battles are 2-stage. So we've done stage 1. We can take the opportunity to heal. We're going to go exactly the same team makeup. I'm going to hop down here, and we're going to fight Claw for a second time. I had to mute my mic for a second because I needed to cough. Jeez. So that's Herba Mystica that he's munching, and it's allegedly making these Titans more powerful. I mean, it's part of the reason. I don't think it's ever fully explained how they're Titans, but also, fun fact, if you are into Pokemon shiny hunting, there are shinies that you can get only in this particular method of battling the Titans with Arven. Arven can have shiny Pokemon, but it's like through a glitch or something, because he's not supposed to. But yeah, he can. Is the long and short of it. He doesn't hear, but he can do. So that's like whatever. So yeah, there we go. We're off to a good start. Shelder is kind of just going to be support for us. So, oh, ow, owie. It's funny because the Cloth we're fighting now hasn't had the Anger Shell triggered yet, which is peculiar, to say the least. So we're just going to keep chipping away. There it is again. I suppose it's only after a certain point. I don't really know how it works, to be honest with you. So Shelder's just going to heal us here. That's nice. Which is probably a benefit for us, to be honest with you. Okay, so he's going after the Shelder, which is nice for us. We won't die just yet. This one we do have to defeat the Cloth. Wow. Arven actually doing some work. I'm going to do a quick attack. Disrespect quick attack, will it work? Yes. Yes, it will. The Cloth faints. And with that, we finally, my goodness, finally get our first badge. And you'll see why, actually, we picked Oh, I wonder if I get the glitch here as well. Oh, look, there's a cloth in the ground. Pretend like you don't see it. There you go. We got our starter evolved in Florigato. Which is a flower that records video gaming. I'm sorry, that's such a terrible joke. Uh, um, but yeah, so in effect, what's going to happen now is we're going to have a little bit of a cutscene that's going to introduce us to why we need to do this particular thing, and each of the different paths we go on are going to then have like a little thing that we get for doing it. So, um, I won't spoil what they all are, but for this one, and we're going to see this in about a second, we're going to get a Herba Mystica. Now, we won't actually get it. It's a plot device one. You can get them later on in the game, and they're good for shiny hunting and all that kind of stuff. But for the purposes of the game itself, they are ingredients for sandwiches, which is how you use them when you do actually get them yourself. And they're going to be good for a particular Pokemon. And that's because Herba Mystica, if you change it down to its initials, it's HM. And HMs are what you need in previous Pokemon generations, up until about generation 6, to traverse the map and solve puzzles and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, the Herba Mystica HMs in this game are Koraidon or Miraidon's powers. His traversal and other skills, I guess. Anyway, so we now are going to get the first of those, which is nice. There's our badge. How lovely is that? And we're now going to get our first of those particular powers. Now, I can't remember which one's which. I think this is Dash. I think this is Dash, which is Run, which is such a you need it kind of thing. And of course, we want to give Koraidon our sandwich. Of course we do. Of course we do. Yeah, we get to see exactly. There we go. Exactly how Herba Mystica affects an Ears Dash. Koraidon, it gives them a boost to their power, restores some of their missing powers, and yeah, you can really start to traverse much easier around the terrain. Now, Dash is just run. It makes you go a lot faster, and it makes running around the game significantly quicker. So, what we're going to do is just wait for this to. Oh, it's a bit of a. The coast is clear. Arvin, why are you hiding from us? This bit, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, what's he up to? It's so sinister. But when you find out, it's like totally understandable. And you're like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And without getting too into it, I played this game when it came out, which was about a year after I lost both my dogs. Which, yeah, it was just I completely, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so we're now just being told that Koraidon's power has slowly begun to return. We can, look into doing more of the Titans, and the benefit we get from that is that Koraidon will be a little, oh, wrong button, a little quicker. And so this is the speed that we were able to go before. It's not game, I'm going to say, because that was being a bit temperamental. But it's not the fastest, but it's not like snail's pace. But when we now have dash, which wrong button. There we go. Is the left thumbstick. I completely kept thinking it was like B or something. Because it's actually significantly faster. Right. Because I would very much like to make just a little bit more progress before I wrap up. So we're not going to do another badge, but what I would like to do, is there any... Do you know what? We are going to do another badge, but we're not going to do the badge near us. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go and do the badge on the west hand side of the main city. And we also get to see a few little variances in thing. We're not going to do the badge now, but that's the direction in which we're heading. Is kind of my point. But we are going to see a few extra things that way, and it gives us an opportunity to sort of divert our thinking for a minute, because I don't want to sort of get dragged too much into one path or another. I'd kind of like to mix it up a bit. So next time we sort of catch up, we will do badge number 2, but it will be our first like gym badge. So we've done one Titan badge, and we'll do first gym badge. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over there, because I want to have just a little look in this area to see if there's any outbreaks, and we might spend just a little time doing a bit of hunting at some stage. So we want to hit, because there's no real outbreaks here for now, so that's fine actually, because we can always get some later on. But what I want to do is make sure we're grabbing any items that we come across, because they're usually quite helpful, especially early on. B, any... I thought that sounded more shiny for a moment then. B, any wild Pokemon that sort of interest us. And C, we really want to take the opportunity to stretch our legs, just see a little bit more of the world, really. So here we are. We have another little Pokemon Center we can use. And the good thing about this is, as you reach them in the game and you use them the first time, you can fast travel to them, fly to them, whatever you want to call it. And it allows you to sort of arrange where you're meeting your friends if you're playing online or anything like that. She's going to tell us about crouching, which is fine. We know how to crouch. Never crouch on this game, by the way. I don't, anyway. I mean, I do, but not for any real reason. So we're going to dump Cloth in the box. We don't need him. I think I really want to use Swaddle, because it's a Pokemon I don't use very often. So I think that's going to stay in the party for now. Fletchling, I would like to replace eventually, but for now, it's going to help us. Perhaps I'll grab a couple of eggs to swap into the team or something at some stage. But that town down there is actually our target, and we are going to go the most direct route. We're not even going to sort of muck about too much here. So, and I'll show you what I was talking about now, actually. So, on here, we can see that I've not interacted with either of the Quartondo Pokemon centers, so the 2, west and east. I'm only going to, and you'll see, I'm only going to interact with one, and it should prompt both to load as travelable. And I'm glad that they've done that. I think that's really cool because it means that you don't run the risk of, as long as you've done one for a town, you don't run the risk of missing another. So we're just gonna do that. Grab a little rest with our Pokemon. And I'm gonna step. She's just telling us about cards and whatnot. We're not doing all of that right now. We might do it eventually, but not right now. So yeah, when I go back into the menu now, you can see that both sides have the wing marker, which means we can fly there. So that might be something that we do one day. We just go around and try and sort of chip off a few places. See, there's a couple of outbreaks up there that we don't know what they are. If we look at Kitakami, you can see there's a few raids. There's one there. Should we go have a look? That'll be the last thing we do. That'll be the last thing we do. We're gonna fly to Kitakami, to Mosui Town specifically. We're just gonna go and see what's in that outbreak. And if it's something interesting, especially if it's something we can replace Fletchinder with, we'll add it to the pie and we'll do a very quick catch, and I might shiny hunt for it off stream. So I'm not sitting here shiny hunting. Absolutely not doing that. I do like shiny hunting, but it is one of those things you kind of. There are people who are better at it than me and more patient than me because I tend to switch off quite a lot and sort of find it very difficult to maintain focus when I'm trying to just shiny hunt. So we're going to bear left here. I've actually come this way quite recently. So on Violet, I have a save file where I'm doing a shiny badge quest, and I might stream part of that at some point. But a big part of it has been trying, like I am now, to keep my team mixed up and fresh, so I'm not just constantly using the same 6 Pokemon every playthrough because that would get boring. And I like sort of, hello? What am I? Oh, okay. I was like, what am I stuck on? It's a vow. That's what it was. So yeah, I was like, cool. I'm trying to talk for Bumby. Cutie fly. Sorry. It's a Pikachu. We're not getting Pikachu. Right. Here's a free tip, and it is one of those things that I now can do because I have one. Pokedolls. Stock up on them. When you use them, they let you run away. That's what they're for. That's what they've always been for. But in most Pokemon games, they're not really that required or useful because, generally speaking, you're not going to be anywhere you shouldn't be. Now, it doesn't fill me with confidence that we're going into this area and there are Pokemon we already can't run away from, but that's by the by. I just want to see what it is. Well, there's a Ralts there. And we'll go from there. Now, Petanil, Yanma. Get an idea of the kinds of Pokemon you're going to see there. I just saw a Rockruff in the corner of my eye, and part of me is like, I want the doggy, but we're not getting it. Or at least not yet. We will probably do a catch 'em all in this save file as we go eventually. But right now, it's not the biggest thing we need to do. So, quick ball. Oh, that's really useful. Oh, it is Rockruff. Oh my god. Okay. I guess we will. Oh, I was just saying that I wasn't going to get. And it's level 20 as well, so I would actually be able to use it just about. I can throw a quick ball. If I catch it, I catch it. If not, then not. What I might do then. Am I going to shiny hunt a Rockruff for this particular playthrough? Shall we? While we're here? You know, Rockruff can be on the team, regardless. It's a good experience. I don't know. I already have shiny Rockruff in my partially built living decks. I should caveat, but a Rockruff on the team, that's pretty cool. It's very tempting. Maybe we can shiny hunt it without knocking stuff out. Or Firestone, that's going to be handy. Rock Terror Shard, that's good. And the Terror Shards, you can. I'll tell you what we'll do. So I've been live for an hour and 50. We'll take 10 minutes just to sort of have a little look in this area at Rockruff. And if by the 2 hour mark we've not seen a shiny Rockruff, I'm going to call it a day. But yes, Terror Shards, they allow you to change a Pokemon's Terra type, which is great. It's the thing you can do later on, and yeah, it's a really cool little feature. And it's definitely one of those things that if you get a Pokemon where they would benefit from having a coverage move become a stab move, it's really useful to have. Like I have a Haxorus that I've made Terra type poison, which makes it really good for dealing with fairy types. So, there's that. But then at the same time, you might as well just have a poison type Pokemon if you're really that worried about it. But anyway, I digress. The point is that it is really useful. But if you don't need the items, what you can do is just sell them, and you can get some money that way, and that makes things like getting clothing a bit easier, getting Pokeballs a bit easier, getting potions and whatnot just that little bit more easily. And honestly, you really would benefit from having the access to the money more than because you're always going to get more of those shards. They're so common, especially in this DLC. There's like loads of places you can just pick them up. Smackdown. And yeah, you can just accrue tons of them. So yeah, selling them is a really good idea. Especially if you're trying to be a completionist. I've bought and sold so many things to give myself the best chance of game, frame rate, behave, give myself the best chance of 100%ing everything in the game. I thought for a second that was bloody Rockruff then. So Munchlax. Could you imagine? If I get a shiny Rockruff at the end of this stream, that'd be amazing. And it would be technically full odds because we don't have a shiny charm, and we've not knocked out many. In fact, we've only caught one. Yeah, so the odds aren't affected. You can affect shiny odds by having the shiny charm, which you get later on in the game. Once you've caught the entire Pokedex for the region, you also get a change in odds once you've knocked out a certain number of. No freaking way! Oh my god! Well, there we go. That took 3 minutes. What balls have I got? Timer, Ultra, great. Pokeball, Quick Ball. Because the last thing I caught was a Rockruff. I'm under the impression this should be a crit capture. I'm just going to throw a Great Ball. I'm under the impression this should just be a crit capture, right? Yeah, there you go. So we have a shiny Rockruff for this playthrough. That's so cool. Oh, we have to give it a nickname as well. That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, that's a really good note to end on as well. Look at him! What's it? We have to call. Oh, there's only one thing we can call him, really. We're just going to call him Blue. He's in the party. Let's have a little look at Blue, shall we? That was so fast. And he's level 21. Oh no, he's not going to listen. That's so funny. That is so funny. So, until I get the first gym badge, he won't listen because the obedience of Pokemon is based on the level that you catch them at, not the level that they are. So he will be in our party, but he won't be obedient until a bit later on. But so he's got a impish nature, which is special attack down, defense up. That's really good, actually. Double team, howl, rock throw, bite. That's not a terrible moveset either. Well, Blue's going to be in our team. I'll have to come up with nicknames for everyone else. Floragato and Piplup are definitely permanent to the team. Swaddle, Fletchling, I'm kind of on the fence about, but we are absolutely using Blue here. I genuinely cannot believe that was so fast. That was so stupidly fast. What we'll do then is we'll now fly back to. I'm a little taken aback by that, actually, to be fair. We'll fly back to Cortondo, and in the next stream, which I haven't decided when that will be, to be honest with you, we will go and get the second badge, our first gym badge. I'll just show you where you can check things like the obedience level and whatnot. I'm going to save as well. I can see that it's auto-saving. I do need to turn that off, but that's fine. So when you press Y, you get a little options menu. Now you press X and it opens out, and it lets you switch between map, Podex, profile. There are other ways to get into this, but this is the way I do it. So this is our profile. You get your trainer ID number, how many shiny Pokemon you've battled, which is 1, which is Blue. Obviously, recipes collected 5. Your Pokedex across the thing and badges. When you press A to change view, it tells you your gym badge effects. So Pokemon at level 20 or below will listen to your commands. That means that if you catch a Pokemon at level 20 or lower, it will listen to you. Blue is level 21, so we won't be able to use Blue. That's fine, I know. Blue will listen to us once we get our next gym badge, so that's fine. Because that number will go up and it will reset for any Pokemon you already have, is my understanding of it. So, yeah, I think that'll just about do it. I cannot get over how quick that was, and it is so funny that we not only get a shiny Pokemon for our adventure, which is so cool. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Which is so cool. I also really like Rockruff. What ability does this one have? Keen Eye. That's fine. If it had own tempo, I would have lost my mind. So yeah, not only are we getting a Pokemon that I like as a shiny for our thing, it didn't take very long at all. We caught one Rockruff, just in case, and then I said, well, we'll give it 10 minutes, and that was 7 minutes ago. So we probably could have hunted a few more, but no, we only need one shiny. We only need one. Will we get other shinies in this playthrough? Who knows? I honestly cannot believe that we have one badge that we've collected and one shiny. That wasn't even planned, and the badge and the shiny we got were both rock, which is wild. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me yabber on for 2 hours. I will see you next time, whenever that happens to be, and me, you, and Blue too will continue on a Pokemon journey through Paldea. Until next time, just run back and forth and you'll find a shiny Rockruff, apparently. Bye!